How do you know if you're on a twin flame journey, in a twin flame connection, right? There's an expansion taking place for somebody. They're understanding that everything for the past, because all they really know in their logical mind and even in their heart space is everything they've experienced in the past, right? What they can factually draw on. They don't know what's coming, the future, so to speak, right? So everything that has happened has been shaping them moving forwards. But they're beginning to really understand this better. They're understanding that as a result, they're shaping what's coming next too, because that's how their mind is being molded from the past. That's how their heart has been guarded as well from the past, or whatever it is, you know. You know you're on a twin flame connection by unraveling yourself, by looking into the mirror. And I'm talking about your own reflection, not the person that you think you're in your connection with, right? Even though everybody acts as a mirror to you, I've said this before, right? So you can allow them to help you see yourself better. You look at yourself, you sit down with your demons as well. Say you've got angels, you've got demons, devils, whatever it is that are on your shoulders, right? It's time to learn who and what they are. What's the reason that they're there? So if you think that you're on that in that journey, then you really need to start asking yourself, okay, what's the reasons? What is this connection? Why do you feel so connected to somebody? Yeah, what is the pattern that's there? What are the triggers that are coming up? You start to unravel your shadow, and as you unravel your shadow, you'll begin to understand whether or not you're on that journey. And if you truly are on that journey, you've had the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. That is that twin flame card. You've known all your life, really. There's been signs, there's been a lot of synchronicities, lots of different things that have pulled you onto this path. And you'll understand that, even to your person. There'll be signs from since when you were a child, truly. Okay, so everyone's on it. I know a lot of people might think that it's for everybody, but every soul has a unique purpose. Literally, every connection, every relationship, whatever you want to call it, even people who aren't in connection relationship, everybody has a purpose. It's unique, and they're all very important, right? It's not about needing or wanting to be on a twin flame journey. It's about really recognizing what your purpose is. And by default, as you unravel yourself, you'll actually become prepared for sacred union, whether you're on a twin flame journey or not. Really. It's about asking yourself the right questions. And this is what I mean by there's an expansion. It feels like someone truly is understanding that better, understanding how to ask themselves the right questions. Nine of Swords has been absolute, like someone's been going over this in their mind again and again, you know, trying to make sense of it, trying to understand what they're experiencing, because it's not logical. Love itself isn't logical. We try to, society has tried to make it logical, try to fit it into boxes, try to categorize it, try to even making you think that love should look a certain way, should be a certain way, all these shoulds, right? It's kind of like seeing past the logic of it. And again, that is that 3D conditioning, truly. And starting to connect deeply to what your truth is, what your soul is speaking to you. That's bringing you back home to your heart, which ultimately is actually divine love for all, truly, right? Six of Cups. Yeah, someone's really been thinking about this connection that's coming through. So I think that as a result of this connection, though, they have truly been reflecting a lot on their own patterns that I was mentioning. So especially their mindset, that's really important. That's really big for this. 9 and 6 could be important as well, okay? We've got the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck as well. Lots of watery. Yeah, a lot of emotion has been surfacing, bubbling beneath the surface for a long time, and now it's kind of like someone's actually recognizing that, and they're doing something to actually pay attention to it. 3 of Swords, there has been heartbreak here. There's been heartbreak of the past, but this particular connection, because it's brought up so much that was there beneath the surface, when you meet someone who you actually want them in your life, and you probably don't even give it a name or anything. You just know that there's someone who you feel that is right to have in your life, and then suddenly there's all of this King of Wands at the bottom of the deck, fiery energy. So then suddenly there's all of this pain that's brought to the surface. It's your ego trying to attach is what's coming through specifically this reading, this connection. Your ego is trying to attach because it has memories of whatever happened in past connections, right? Which again was drawing on the foundation from when they were a really young person anyway. That was clearly an unhealthy attachment here. I did want to come through. King of Wands, fire sign energy. Someone's been heartbroken over this. 6 of Wands, but there is this energy with this as well. That expansion that's coming through, it feels like they're seeing, I'm hearing potential, but they're really seeing how they can bring this back, or they're going to be seeing how they can actually bring this back onto the path of success, right? Yeah. I think because someone's been in that, this could be someone who's quite a leader actually, so it's kind of even more maybe confusing for them and causing a lot of mental anguish because they're not used to being in this position where their emotions are so suddenly on the surface, right? Especially when their ego has been trying to protect them this entire time. And they probably didn't show their true face in this connection either, or maybe just generally, afraid of their own vulnerabilities because they haven't faced them. But again, if you know you're on that twin flame journey, what do? You face yourself, right? You have to. The devil, Queen of Pentacles. For a long time, I think some earth energy as well. For a long time, I think somebody here thought that this was a karmic connection. That's how they would have labelled it, or they just thought it was toxic. Is what's coming through, unhealthy. Truly, that's how they labelled it. Again, the 8 of Swords, the conditioning of the mind. The conditioning of the mind. Especially when it feels like this kind of Queen of Pentacles energy that's come through, she's very kind of hair focused anyway. So I think actually there was like suddenly this obsession with her, but it was like also blaming her at the same time, which it feels like someone really was avoiding taking accountability for their own emotions, right? But again, doing so would have meant digging beneath the surface, which at the time they were not ready to do. Yeah, Justice. Yeah. They had a lot of karma that they need to heal through. And don't forget, even that twin flame connection will show you your karmic cycles. We'll already bring that to the surface for you to clear through them, right? This is why often in these connections there's a separation, because you're not at that space where you're able to come together into sacred union, because you've just shown each other, you've been the biggest catalyst to each other's heart awakening in a sense, because you're showing each other what still needs to be healed in order for you to have this beautiful 10 of Pentacles, which is that sacred union, it's that abundant union, abundant cycle that wants to come through. 10 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I think this is what someone's reminiscing on. They have been that they could have had this abundant cycle, but it came into this 10 of Swords instead, just pain and darkness, right? And for a long time they didn't understand this. For a long time, like I said, they blamed the other person for a long time. They've just had a lot of reflection they've had to do. Capricorn energy could be important, maybe the seasons or Christmas time as well. Yeah, they've had a lot of... I think that their mindset has shifted a lot. And I think it's because it did broke. That was a star that wanted to come out there, just fell into my hand. Aquarius season as well. Okay, the 2 of Pentacles. My throat's having a situation, so it feels like someone's really not being communicating, right? This is someone who chose unhealthy ways to cope with how they were feeling about this connection, okay, which made it worse in the sense that it's like they were just delving deeper into their own darkness, right, without recognizing it as that, or, maybe they did see it, but they didn't actually try to understand or unravel it, right? They were just there. And I think a part of the thing about moving forwards is they don't want to be in that position again, but when you are on that journey, and generally you reach a point where you're honoring yourself, so you know that actually regardless of another person, I'm going to put myself first as much as I can, right? So it's kind of like that learning that journey of self-love as well, because how can you love your person the right way, and how can you allow them to love you the right way if you've not understood what that is for you? Yeah, how much love you actually have the capacity within your own heart to pour out. Yeah, the moon has come out with the King of Wands. It's majorly giving to me that energy of that ego beneath the surface that was ruling, okay, but also kind of delving into that, oh my god, the Ten of Swords did come out. It's come out with the Devil as well. Yes, that's big. Someone's definitely had to, it's like they've had, I mean, so they fell into the pits of despair, is what I've specifically heard. So yeah, Dark Night of the Soul, obviously. I just keep seeing this energy of addictions, truly. They fell into that, and this is what they tried numb. I've heard numbing. They tried to numb the pain. I think, again, because they couldn't logically understand what was happening. They were like backwards and forwards with this energy, They wanted to proceed, but in order to proceed, they needed to be a certain version of themselves, right? Which is who they've been becoming, whether they realise it or not, right? But at the time, they were avoiding it. King of Cups here, water energies, again. That's a lot of emotional maturity, that is, actually, which is really interesting. I have a feeling, Hermit just came out as Virgo season, got a Libra as well, Libra and Virgo energies. I have a feeling that there's this energy of, this masculine energy has been really finding abundance in their, well, at least stability in their emotional space. And this feminine energy might have been focusing more on a 3D and finding more abundance in that, because I think that's where there might have been an imbalance, right, within them. So it's kind of like finding that union within, right? Ace of Swords, yeah, there's going to be truth spoken, there's going to be clarity. You've got strength there at the bottom of the deck then, as well as Leo season. So, yeah, someone's finding clarity about, I also heard something about family. Someone's been finding clarity to do with family, so maybe kind of their childhood experiences, or just like their connections with the family members becoming through, with that healing that they've been going through. They might even be asking family a lot of questions about their own, upbringing, and it's bringing a lot of awareness to them about their emotional drivers, about where their capacity to actually love in a healthy way, and to allow the room for that sacred union, right, to come through, because actually it's very different to the unhealthy attachments that you will have grown up with, especially if you're on this journey, right? Again, specific message. Not everyone's brought up with unhealthy attachments around them, right? So a specific message. The World energy, yeah, closing out. Finally closing out that kind of the heartbreak cycle, because someone's been going through that. It's been perpetuating again and again and again. King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So it's kind of like no longer juggling that, backwards and forwards. Like I say, it's like they've seen the past, they're understanding, oh, that was the past that was continuing to remind me. They kept remembering their past every time, in their heart, in their head, and the pain of it. So they weren't able to move forward, truly. And this is what they're finally finding that escape to do. Ace of Cups, to move forward, to liberate themselves. Too many cards, right? So it feels like I'm hearing specifically a fresh start, right? But because their mind and their heart is in a whole new way. Four of Wands just came out. Sacred union is on someone's mind. And then the Lovers. They're making the right decisions now. They've been delving deep. And I think that actually not many people are aware of what's happening here. Yeah, there might be some, even the person they want to move towards, they're not aware that someone's at this point where they're ready to say yes to their heart, to say yes to sacred union, right? There might be someone who likes to celebrate a lot as well, which itself might have been an unhealthy coping mechanism in the past if they hadn't like alchemized it in the right way. Ace of Cups did come out, but it's come out knowing that actually that Devil and Ten of Swords cycle is kind of like that needs to be done, and they understand that in order for this clarity, this love and heart space to really flourish and open and bring through that I was going to say medicine, so it's like love is medicine here. It's inspiring someone to be the best person who they're here to be, whether they realize it or not. So new beginning for love, definitely. Got the Seven of Swords on the deck. This is it. They were constantly falling into, the devil and the angel that I was talking about. It was like the devil was continue to, entice them. I want to, devil, Lucifer, light bearer, right? So it's kind of like understanding that beneath all of that, they had to cycle through all of that again, karmic energy, their behaviors, their choices, a big deal. They're understanding that it's their choice that have been creating this, right? They've had to cycle through that to finally get to their light. I'm seeing the phoenix, that rebirth energy. Maybe that's where that fire sign was coming through, with that masculine energy specifically as well. Okay, and we also have the Knight of Cups. Yeah. Three of Pentacles, doing it together this time is what that's giving me, wanting to do it together, right? But it's like moving with love, loving intention, moving with loving intention, which is beautiful. Okay, so it's kind of like they're going to need to match their action with their words. That's the biggest thing here. They're going to need to match their actions with their words. So they can offer a good offer, but I'm hearing they've fought the fight as well, you know, in their own life. But how are they matching it? Okay, got the raccoon. So it could be an entrepreneur, someone who's inquisitive. So this is definitely this message is definitely for someone who's been like doing a lot of asking questions, curiosity, trying to find the answers for what they're experiencing. Okay, Wolverine, fierce, untamed, unpredictable as well. Okay, there's been a lot of that owl, seeing beyond the facade, finally breaking through that 3D kind of mindset that we was talking about. Dolphins, happiness, peace, joy. You know, there's something about being playful with that as well, which is really beautiful. I think that's something that you bring out in each other, your inner children. So maybe it is quite unorthodox the way you are when you're together. You know, maybe you're just so at ease, at peace together, that you can literally just bring out the inner children, because that's how comfortable you feel. That's how at home you feel when you're with each other. Okay, the white wolf, that could be important. Trusting your inner guidance. Wow. And the butterfly there. So obviously it's a metamorphosis that's taking place. This entire message here with these animal cards is basically saying the more someone has been asking questions, being curious about their path, right? The more they're actually understanding that what has been blocking them, and they're seeing past it all, right? They're seeing that, and that this is why they've changed. They've become more unpredictable. They've become more fierce in who and what they are, right? Before they were fierce in like they wanted to block themselves off from it, but now it's like they're fierce towards everything that's trying to bring them into a place of illusion. And in doing so, they're actually finding so much more peace and joy and harmony, and they're learning to trust their inner guidance. Finally, there's strength in that. I also feel like there's companionship, they're understanding of the tornado here. So let's see. Something about companionship as well. Yeah, mask. Of course someone was wearing a mask. The mask was going to bring through the tornado, the unexpected chaos, wreaking havoc, right? They were putting on a show for others. And this left them isolated. This is what happened. Left them isolated, feeling alone. There was separation here. Okay. I think there might have been quite a storm with whatever happened as well. But once again, someone was just in their ego with that mask. Just had fall to the floor, third person. So it feels like there could be something about a third person that someone's really had to, well, I mean, in karmic connections, there often is that like third party karmic energy happening, right? But this is what someone's had to really see through the facade of. Okay, unconditional love. The Celtic knot, that's beautiful. It's lifelong, it's enduring, it's life lasting, it's just beautiful. Love of all lifetimes, divine union, divine love. They're seeing the difference between that karmic energy or anything that's been trying to pull them away, and now they're finally understanding unconditional divine love. Right? The tornado happened because they couldn't see it for what it was. There was too much illusion in the way. It's like they were themselves kind of just, they felt for a long time like they were on this island by themselves, right? And this is why they were like drawing on these third party energies that were just like that complicated, caught up in this yarn energy. That cat's really sticking out to me. Maybe cats mean something to you as well. Yeah, just all caught up and entangled in whatever this was, right? I think that the divine feminine energy here was brought into a karmic situation as well, and she didn't want to become entangled in this, right? Divine intervention, double rainbow, that's really beautiful. I always see that as a really positive sign. So there's definitely been divine intervention here. There's been this need to kind of see things more clearly, and I think that's the clouds, clouded vision. Someone's had a lot of clouded vision for a while. And that's why the divine intervention takes place, especially with that divine masculine energy that's coming through. Rings, agreements, cycles, karmic energies closing out so that the divine love can come through, right? But it's about this understanding that someone's really gained. They're seeing the obstacles differently. They really are. There's really something about I feel like someone's wanted to fight for what they want, and they've constantly been pulled back down from like whatever this entanglement is, right? It's like their own mind has been drawn back into confusion and illusion. Maybe they're quite susceptible to like believing people around them or something, you know, other people's opinions. The bear, Mama Bear, CEO, honey. This could be someone who's quite strong and muscular. It could also be someone who has children, but also seen as that, you know, Mama Bear kind of energy. Yeah, the boss, CEO. Wow. Storks, transformation. That's also giving that energy of pregnancy and birth as well. And also renewal, like renovating. Someone might have been quite restless. Obviously, they're where their mind was. There's people have moved, right? Whatever this is, there's been moving. There's been movement. There might have been pregnancy as well here, okay? Someone else might be slender and tall, so it might be two different people. It's like in the right time, the cycles are coming back around, the arriving and the departure, right? It's all coming back around in the right time. The key, the solution. This is like the key to moving forward to that next level now. Got the feminine energy at the bottom of the deck as well. So it's like a solution has come through. You're using your the insights that you're gaining in a way where you're really allowing this intelligence to feed your mind and your heart. So emotional intelligence as well, okay? Finding clarity, there's a breakthrough, it's liberation. It's important to pay attention. I think someone has been paying attention. Maybe they've been receiving a lot of different signs here. There's this energy of keeping promises and reaping what you sow. So I feel like somebody, they might have wanted to keep a promise at one time, maybe a few times, but they were so caught up in that external energy, right? And maybe, like I said, that pregnancy energy is coming through, red flag. Yeah, they were in red flag territory, right? So it was like, it would have been a major caution zone for whatever this connection is and who they want to move towards, right? So they knew that. They were dealing with a lot. Chandelier, affluence is coming in big. Something about, there's going to be, especially this feminine energy, I feel like she's going to be coming into a lot of more affluent energy, you know, there's sophistication, there's elegance. Yeah, there's something about that. I think that she might be working on maybe her own business specifically for this message, okay? A legacy, romance, beauty, refinement, enlightenment, illumination. So definitely something's coming through there. I think someone's going to find way more clarity on who they are, what feels comfortable to them. Boomerang, kangaroos, Australia. There's a kangaroo in the boomerang, that's why I said that. This is something coming back around. So regaining what was once gone. So it could be health, you know, as well. But specifically, I feel like this is to do with this connection. Okay. And as you know, I'm getting that energy of as this connection comes back around, so will so much more. And I'm talking about in an abundant way here, especially with that chandelier. Okay, people say, you were right. Wow. The return of what's yours. And that's going to be confirmation for you. That you know. But at this stage, I don't think that you're feeling crazy about the journey. I think that you've understood more. And so, you know, it's not going to like validate you, their return. It's going to just make sense, you know. And then the next steps will unravel. Oh my gosh, just as I said, the next steps. Well, first of all, boots, next steps. The sunrise. Happy beginnings, number 6. June might be an important month for you. Maybe you have memories from June. A new day, darkest before the dawn, truly. Hope, clarity. Clarity is coming through again. There's a lot of clarity that someone's gaining in their own space here. It's where they're currently are, okay? Obstacles are being overcome, they're going to be. Problems are going to get ending, it's going to be a bright future. It's going to be, again, it says fresh start. I did say that before. There's going to be this new reawakening is what I want to say. A reawakening here. It's like you found your soul again, you know, after all the distortion. I think someone's really in that cycle of distortion, right? Yeah, they had bottled up emotions behind that mask, okay? Theatre might be important for somebody as well. Something about performance, yeah, cracked egg, false start. It didn't go the way it needed to in the beginning, and it wasn't supposed to. An inexperience, it backfired. Oops. Failure to launch. Yeah, it was you weren't who you need to be. Okay, that's the whole point of you coming together. You were showing each other, you enlightened to each other who you could be, who you want to be, right? That's not before you deny it or invalidate it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like there's been an acceptance here. Someone's at the state where they've come to that state of acceptance, so they're truly seeing things for more than for what they are. Amber. Number 2 could be important here. Resolve, purpose, focus, concentration, resilience, striking while the iron's hot, strength, persistence. This is someone who's going to take determined action. And, you know, with that King of Wands there, that makes sense as well. Got the iceberg, so there's more than meets the eye here. Of course there is. You're going to be finding out, again, the subconscious, the mystery, the buried memories. That's what was, and the illusion. This is what I've been saying. It's just confirming. So someone was really, might have felt a bit cold or, you know, towards you or cut off or whatever. It's because they themselves were dealing with a lot more beneath the surface, and they weren't dealing as you. That's a problem. And this is what's changed. So let's see moving forwards with that Celtic knot, and it does say legendary and eternal, and there's something about that's really sticking out to me. And I think there's one thing that this specifically masculine energy is holding on to is that this is to them a love of all lifetimes. It's eternal. Legendary. Again, that ego's really coming through, but it's like they're learning how to channel it better in a healthier way. Okay, so wintertime could be important. Okay, so right about now there is that silence. That's what it's saying. You know, there is silence right now. There's detachment. I think that it's important not to act from that red flag behavior, and I think that's what someone's clearing, right? That's what they're metamorphosing from. That's where there was a full stop before. Okay, let's see. You might have had a memory from wintertime, and they were very detached. Okay, Uranus, a fool. There's going to be a new beginning. Someone's jumping into this opportunity. They may be rebelling against, you know, conformity here. Leo, the sun energy. Yeah, it's like they wanted to be the sun, but now they're seeing someone else as the sun, you know, which is nice. They're getting there at least, because again, there's this energy of doing things together, wanting to work together, and also feeling like you're already not even entangled, but you're interwoven with each other. Entangled was like that karmic energy before, but this like the past connection that you two shared, but also just other connections, you know. Yeah, fire element, really, really expect the unexpected. That was coming through before, actually, the reading. Creativity, impulse, passion. Yeah, someone's going to be acting on that passionate nature that they truly have, but they're also learning how not to act from kind of, you know, that impulsive kind of in and out spontaneous energy where they can't hold it down, you know, false promises maybe, or just getting what they want. That's what they've healed through. They're not like that anymore. Truly, they get into that stage where they're not like that. Again, specific memory. You'll have memories, and you'll know that this is what they were like. The Empress, Venus, attraction, beauty, charm, love, pleasure. This is what the divine feminine needs to focus on herself. Truly, she needs to, because that's what's kind of allowing her to stay in her light and to connect to her divine purpose here. And detach. She needs to be detached from this divine masculine. That's one of the biggest drivers for forward movement. Okay, she needs to be detached. Solar flare. That doesn't mean you disconnect. It means that you just allow someone to go on their journey, and you allow yourself to recognize that what is healthy for you. What do you deserve? Why are you attached to someone who's not treating you right to deserve, you know, what you deserve, right? Showing up kind of thing. Regardless of how you feel internally, you've got to really bring that energy back to you and say, hold on, I deserve that. I'm going to do that for me, right? Ascensions, look at that, beautiful. There's ascensions, there's seeing things from different dimensions. That's what I was talking about before. Someone's breaking through that third dimension. Got the earth energy as well. Dependable, grounded. There's been many times that someone's wanted to actually take a leap of faith here, and there's been stuckness. There's been something that's gone in the way. Blocks, again, divine intervention coming through heavy, serendipity, divine timing. Things have been unfolding perfectly. I didn't catch it, but literally, I just had the twin flame card came out, and then the Emperor. And the Emperor's underneath the Empress here. That's confirmation. Wow. Of course, there's been a lot of stops and starts here internally that maybe you haven't even seen. I also feel like something that someone's been manifesting that's not to do with this connection. Something else is coming to fruition, or at least there's something about it that's going to be, it's going to come to light, okay? So that's important moving forwards, okay? And I think that's probably why you need to focus on you as well. Scorpio energy, death, total overhaul. From whatever the ending was, there's a total overhaul. It's interesting because I feel like the actual timing's not coming out. So again, this is someone who you still need to have faith in divine timing. You still need to learn how to surrender to divine. That's really big here, which is why there's this energy of going in, because then you'd get too entangled with other people's third-party karmic energies. That's their cycles they need to heal through. The more you stay in your light, the more they can see clearly as well. The more you stay in your heart space, divine feminines, in your light, the more that they can see through their third eye as well and see past the illusion and actually see you clearly right here. It's really important because actually that's helping them on their ascension path as well, which they're clearly going through. Again, winter time is really important. There must be a memory here, but also moving forward, something about winter time is coming through. And with this twin flame card as well, that 1111 energy, that's really important. So I do think that there's alignment happening, and the Four of Wands did come out. It's like it's on their mind. It's on their mind now, which is the biggest thing, right? So it's kind of like, yes, I want to move towards this. There's going to be some kind of leap of faith. But there needs to be a release of that codependency energy, the expectation, right? Staying in your light, staying in your worth. The more you do that and show up for yourself in that way, the more they're going to see that. They're not going to want to come through in any other way. So again, you've got the deception card, the very first card that came through, okay? So and unrequited love and codependency. Someone has not been in a space to love themselves, to really honor this engagement energy, this ascending to high levels of commitment, honoring their emotions, being present and seeing their worth, right? So it's really important to not hold on to kind of falsity. You have to see things for what they are. That includes, the illusion of like the 3D that the divine masculine is breaking through from, but also divine feminine, you seeing past the illusion of, it's not an illusion because you see in your mind's eye who your person is and how, who they can be, but who are they presenting as? That's what makes all the difference. And so you need to bring that back to you. You don't need to judge them or anything like that. And if you do, that's okay. Honor that. Say to yourself, where's that coming from? What's the reason that I'm feeling like this? Ask yourself, right? And not have the guards come up, right? And I think that's like the beauty of the divine feminine in this particular collective. You've really been doing that, and that's helping somebody here to step up, right? But they are in silence right now. They're coming back around because with that boomerang especially. But it's going to all happen it's kind of like serendipitous timing, right? So it's really important to honor that, but just honor the connection in your heart space more than anything right now, okay, as this unfolds. Focus on your transformation and your evolution, because there is a metamorphosis taking place right now, okay? And everything in divine timing is a big message for this, okay? And to confirm, whoever this message is for specifically, this is an energy who's still attached to some kind of addictions that they're healing through, right? This is what they're learning how to unravel from, right? To disconnect from, because it's based off this codependent energy, right? Needing to fill some kind of void, okay? And that it's like something that they either get from validation externally, or they get this source from whatever this addiction is, okay? And this is what they've not loved themselves correctly, and because they haven't been given that love from a young age. So this is what they're learning, truly, and they're coming to understanding that actually their truth, their feelings, and what they want to ascend to is real. And this is going to be allow them to really explore that, right, in divine timing. Being present is going to be so important. Stay present, divine feminine specifically. Stay as present as you can. Stay in your practices, stay to do what you need to do to stay in your alignment. There's a disconnection right now. Someone's disconnected from the world. They might be traveling or something, but they're coming back into their center, okay? Capricorn is a really important sign for this reading. I feel like it's connected to the divine masculine specifically as well. It could just be, again, a memory from that time as well for both of you. But this sudden change is going to, either it's occurred in the Capricorn energy just gone, that December time, or it's coming, right? And there's a new beginning that's coming with this, okay? So I also feel like someone experienced an end, so it's kind of like a cycle from that time, from that energy, that time of year, right? where something had ended and now there's going to be a new beginning in place. So maybe it's kind of like there's going to be a total different Christmas kind of energy, right? If that's something that you believe in or whatever. But there's definitely been an upheaval and someone's really gathering themselves to understand the next steps and moving forwards, okay, to honor their truth. Okay, let me know if this message was for you. Sending love.